How's it going? We're Velocity Squared Parkour. We sat down and we figured out some good subjects that we're going to talk about. And so our list today, we'll be talking about parkour shoes and their pros, cons, what's good, what's bad, etc. And definitely my own personal opinion, we'll talk about with the other guys here, is double flips and how I dislike them. Being showed up versus being humble about tricks and just anything in parkour world, and parkour in video games, definitely one of my favorite subjects. So
Right.
We definitely have had a lot of experiences with the shoes. Jeremiah here has, what are those shoes? The Feiyu?
I don't know, dude. Feiyu, I guess.
Just the pronunciation. Feiyu.
Few. No.
They're called few because you just when you use them, you just jump and you fly and you go. Phew.
It's the sound of it. Yeah, the sound of the shoes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm good at that. That's our conclusion.
Yeah.
Podcast over now.
No, but I mean.
But what do you think of them? Like, you've had them for a while now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've used Converse for before these for the longest time.
Right.
And I mean, they work because I used them for just anything.
Right.
Just around. They were my work shoes. They were just wearing around shoes, parkour shoes, just anything. And then I was like, if I want to get serious about this, I might as well get some
official
decent,
names.
decent official parkour free running shoes.
Right.
And so,
not to mention they're only $20.
yeah, right, yeah.
They're only $20?
They're
Wow, I didn't even know that.
They're
Okay.
super cheap.
Okay, because I was gonna say those are probably expensive as that jacket I saw today.
No, dude, right.
Jacket was more expensive than shoes. What's up with that?
$40.
$45
Right.
for a jacket.
For a hoodie, not
For a-
even
yeah. That one wasn't even that warm.
Yeah.
It
No,
seemed.
it was just kind of
But I
fabric.
digress.
Yes.
But what I was thinking though is just with the name brand of those shoes, even though they're not expensive,
Right.
you don't have to go and find a specifically named parkour shoes,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that's what I
No.
did. There wasn't any of that around when I first started doing
Oh, no.
parkour.
Yeah.
There was no line of Apex Movement or American parkour, even just
Right.
Colorado
Label.
parkour, anything. There was none of that.
Right.
They were still. Everybody was still getting off the ground because parkour was pretty new back when I first started, I think.
I mean, yeah.
But so I had to find a decent pair of shoes, and what I just went with was just some sneakers.
Right.
And the problem I had with the first pair of sneakers that I had was they were heavy, and
Right.
when I was first started, I mean, if I wore them now and did a flip or something like that, yeah, I would be okay. But when I first started, I felt like I was wearing bricks on my feet.
Yeah.
So, but they were grippy. They
Right.
were so grippy, and this good shock absorbing, because those are the few things you look for when you're looking for parkour shoes, and anything just at all with athletics is, well, it actually just like we were talking about a minute ago, it just depends on what you're looking for and what
Right.
you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're tricking, you want a lightweight.
Not lightweight.
You don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to be too shock absorbing, but
No.
enough, because if you slam down with a
Yeah.
flip or something, it might hurt a little. Definitely not those freaking toe shoes. I am just not fond of those things.
He's
at
not a
all.
fan.
No,
Yeah.
I had
I
a
think-
pair, and I just used them for as soon as I got out of the car after going to the store and getting them, I just jumped. I did a broad jump, and I hurt my feet. I had to sit down for a few minutes. It wasn't a bad injury or anything, obviously, but I had to sit down. I was like, oh man, that actually really hurt. I mean, I guess they really simulate not wearing shoes.
Right.
So
Definitely.
for rock climbing, those are excellent. Excellent.
They can be good, like we were talking about a little earlier, in training, just to kind of force you to train to land softly, because otherwise you'll hurt yourself. But other than that, I mean, they have some grip. They do simulate how God made our feet as, bare feet. That's
Absolutely,
how
yeah.
they're supposed
Basically,
to. But
if you're wearing if you're barefoot, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I
That's your
always
thing.
forget that. is that
Yeah,
it's
you
just
have a little
basically
extra layer of skin.
Yeah, exactly. So if you step on a not too thick thorn,
yes.
See if there's a rusty 12-inch nail. Well,
at least
I mean-
you'll only get about maybe 10 inches in it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, just 10. It's
It's not.
pretty.
It'll
Before
only
your
go
foot
through your
reverses
foot.
and goes the other way
Only
to pull
get-
it out.
You only get tetanus in both your legs.
Yeah.
But
But I didn't care for those regardless. Not even as shoes because
Right.
they felt weird and after a while it was kind of weird, but they just smelled terrible.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't wear socks with them, and
Right.
when you
I
don't
mean,
wear socks with
yeah.
shoes, what happens? Your feet stink.
Right.
But I guess we're getting a little off topic with that. Those just is only for specific things.
Right.
I guess
Yeah.
I don't know if they would allow this, but like if you're going to like a gym where they had the springboard floor and they're like no shoes, I don't know if they would let those pass.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Possibly.
It's possible.
But
Just because you tend not to like go around in the mud in those. So
Yeah,
it
right.
would be a little cleaner.
I would say
I
if
feel-
you step in like an inch of mud or water, you
Yeah.
just go right in the damn shoe. So
Anyways, but yeah.
But
Um,
so
oh.
lightweight is good for what I find when you first start. But the shoes that Jeremiah has here, I like them because first of all, I'm a guy that likes looks. You know, looks in clothing.
Yes.
I care for that. And they look pretty solid. They look a lot like Converse. And I've talked to someone who's like, Converse are pretty good for parkour. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll try it. And I just thought they were okay. They were
I mean,
fantastic.
Not
Yeah.
wonderful.
They're no arch support.
I mean, they're
no
not
shock absorbing.
they're not the best. They're not the worst. It's just
No,
kind of
yeah.
like
It's just like if you don't got anything else and you
Yeah.
don't have a lot of
I mean-
money to go spend on a fancy pair.
Yeah.
Well, apparently
I mean,
these other ones are only
that.
$20. Heck, I would buy those just to wear them casually because
Yes.
Converse are $50. So unless you buy a knockoff brand, but then that's when you lose in your
those
quality.
last for about maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I've had quite a few pairs of shoes for parkour, and my favorite ones are actually probably the current ones that I have. I didn't wear them today when we went, but they're just a light pair of Nikes, and they're not too like curvy, but they're flat enough, and they got a decent amount of grip. It's just they're getting worn out on me
Right.
because I
Yeah.
wear them to work.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's enough about shoes. You guys
It's
have any
enough
other?
shoe talk.
You guys got any more comments about that?
No, I mean,
Okay. So we'll move on to double flips and their
Double flip.
advantages and disadvantages in the tricking, parkour, free running, everything world. So
double flips.
I brought this one up in the car when we were driving home today. That I don't really care for double flips in parkour particularly because they look cool, but do they really benefit you in getting from A to B?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, parkour, I mean, is just meant for flow and everything. If you're wanting to do double flips and stuff, it's mainly meant for like tricking.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't designed for like free running. I mean, you can do it in free running and parkour, but it's a sketchy area, and there's not a lot of people that can do those.
No.
I mean, perks to those who can, but
Yeah,
it's not going to help
absolutely.
you in a real situation, you know.
Yeah. No, like
But-
for real, that's exactly it. Is they're just for looks, and you have to. And it's so weird. Like with us now, we can just do a flip whenever we want,
Right.
and we finally get that point where we can just bust a flip wherever almost and
Right.
whenever. But now that we got that point, and it wasn't too hard after we do it, then now the doubles. Like if you ever just stood somewhere, and just thought, I wonder if I could do a double,
Yeah.
and then you're just like you actually like think you're gonna go for it, and you're like no.
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't know if that's similar to how it was when we first started doing flips, and maybe it's just adding another step to the flip, but I don't think it's that way because you have to focus so much more on the
Right.
rotation, and that's not what they teach you as much when you're learning
Yeah.
at first. They teach you your jump is your most important, which it still
Yeah,
is.
your height. I mean, if you have enough height, you can
Yeah, if
lack
you
in
got some
rotation.
mad
I mean,
hops,
man, yeah.
then-
If you got those mad hops, man. I mean,
Then maybe you have a chance.
you may have a chance. I
But-
mean, for the most part, you're gonna be doing it off of like a ledge, off of
Uh-huh.
like a
Like
decent.
I've
you
seen
know-
videos of people that take a yoga ball or not a medicine ball, but those big
Right.
magic
Yeah,
globe,
right.
and they bury it in the sand at a beach, and they
No.
use it as like a trampoline kind
It's
of
not
thing.
safe, in my
It's
opinion.
not. It's not.
That's
I want to
sketchy.
try it.
You're not
but,
going to come across
but I
that
don't.
anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think that's very convenient either, because not all of us live near a beach.
A beach.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We're surrounded by mountains.
Yeah, mountains in other states. And
There's a beach
cities
that
and-
you can get to 3
mean,
hours drive.
yeah.
You know? That's
Yeah,
a really
It's a-
nice one.
it's a-
but nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it just in parkour though, I don't feel like they benefit you at all because like we were talking about earlier, if you like we know someone who can do a flip. When they do their front flip, they travel farther than just jumping a broad
Right.
jump or a running broad jump. and that's cool. That's how flips can benefit in parkour, because I've seen and been in maybe several discussions of flips in parkour, and it's a no.
Right.
And then versus that it's not a bad thing, and
Right.
I don't think it's a bad thing. You can do them. I've seen people do it in parkour all the time, and they're like, no, it's free running. I'm just like, no, it's totally a different thing, because free running is more of just for looks, and
It's
not really that, but
it's a little fancier.
It's a lot fancier,
a little
and
fancier.
yeah, and just in parkour, obviously it's A to B, and if a flip will help you get from A to B, hell yeah,
More
do
efficiently,
it.
yeah.
Do
Definitely.
it. Do
Yeah.
it. I'm not saying don't do it, but a double flip.
I mean,
That's
unless
when
you're like Goku, and you can do like quad full, with a freaking, I don't know,
Kamehameha.
Kamehameha. Yeah,
Right
then
there.
I mean, go for it for sure. I mean,
If you have real Super Saiyan.
yeah. Are you real Super Saiyan? Anyway, no. But yeah, it's not gonna really help you. Like, say you're running from like a Doberman Pinscher. I mean, you're gonna freaking. You're like, oh, okay, I gotta time this double.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
double-
Yeah, that's actually a really good analogy. If
It's-
you're running from an attack dog or someone trying to
someone with a
steal
knife
stuff
or
from
something, a
you
gun,
kill you,
something.
it's like you think
Hopefully that won't happen.
the first thing you think
but-
is, I guess if you have a chance for it, is run.
Right. Yeah. You're just gonna be
run
thinking.
or jump or lose this person.
You're gonna be
Not,
thinking
I'm gonna
flow.
get up top of this fence real fast and do two flips,
Yeah.
or even just one for that matter, unless it'll benefit you to
Right.
getting from one point to another. If you know you can get a good amount of distance from it.
Right.
I know with me and my side flip that I've not trying to brag, I've perfected because it's the only trick I worked on for a long
Right.
time. I can travel 7 feet with it, so I would use that to get from one point to
as an
another.
advantage.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of height on it, I noticed today.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
You
your
can do
trick.
it over obstacles and distance-wise.
That's your
it's
trick,
Thank
not a
you
problem.
very much. And that's just because I've done it a lot, and I did a double into a pit today, a foam pit, but that's as far as I really want to go with that. I don't want
Right.
to waste. I don't want to waste my time
It's
learning
fun.
a trick. Yeah, it's fun. I'll
And
do
it can help, like if you're doing it in a gym, to help you increase
right.
your speed of rotation if need be.
Oh yeah.
And also your spotting ability. Like you can spot a lot better if you practice it harder than you
Right.
have to in real life. But
It's in the end.
you're never gonna use it in real life.
Yeah, because it's cool. That's all it really is.
It's cool.
You do it and you say, cool, I did a double front back side flip.
Yeah. It's
whatever.
to have. It's to
And it's
show.
just like, all right, cool. But if you're doing tricking, yeah, heck yeah, that's fine.
Do it.
Just
That
do it.
you need. That's probably one of the things you want to learn.
Yeah.
That's how you get
And
sponsors.
Maybe for your maybe in free running, I'd say, but you still want to go
It's
as fast
still-
as you can.
yeah.
But let's move on to the next subject, shall we? What do we got now? Is showed up versus being humble, or showing off
Showing off. Yeah.
versus being humble. I've definitely struggled with this one a lot when I first started getting into flips. Is I was just like, hey guys, watch this, and I do a flip, and they're like, whoa.
Every chance.
Yeah,
you
and
get,
I'm sure
basically.
we've all done that once or twice.
We've had.
Yes,
we've all had
definitely.
that moment.
Yeah, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with showing off, but there's just a certain
It's-
amount in your intention.
There's
also.
a balance.
Yeah, because like if you're at a parkour gym and there's someone walking in brand new to parkour, free running, tricking, whatever, and they see you doing this crazy stuff, there's one of two things they're probably think like, wow, that was cool, I wish I could do that one day. Or if they're really intimidated by that, that's exactly what they're gonna feel. They're gonna feel intimidated. They're like, wow, I'll never be that good, I might as well just give up. Because there's people like that. I used to be like that, where I'd see someone do something crazy, I'm just like, I might as well just give up. I'm never going to be that good. I don't have time to train for that stuff. And that's why I stopped doing parkour for a while. And thank goodness now I'm on this team.
Right.
That gives me motivation to do stuff. But thank goodness. But regardless, there's just a balance between showing off. And what do you think of that, Jeremiah? Like, what do you think about showing off?
Yeah. I
versus
mean,
being humble about it?
I've met several people, and we've known several people that have just like, it's one thing when you accomplish a trick and you're just like, guys, check out this new thing, or like,
Yeah.
because it's an accomplishment. You wanna let the world know, but like, if you constantly just like drag it into the ground, just like, hey, I can do that thing, especially if it's something that someone else can't do, and they're working for it, you know,
Right,
it's
yeah.
a goal for them, and you're just like rubbing it in their face. It's the same way with like any sport, really. This, even though this is more of a like lifestyle, but
Yeah,
it's
and a discipline.
yeah. I mean, you can't be doing that. It's not right. So there's a balance
Yeah.
of just being like, hey, check it out. I got this new thing. Oh, that's cool. You can do that. Cool. You don't need to like be like all up in their face like, yeah, I get to do that.
Right.
You don't really got that though, but I mean, that's pretty cool that I got it, you know.
Yeah. Do you have any like experiences, Russell, that you've like been in where you either showed off or you saw someone showing off and you're just like, well,
Yeah, no. Usually, if I start showing off, then I see somebody else that does something better than me,
Yep.
and I just, it doesn't hurt.
But it puts you in your place.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah.
and the way I try to force myself to think about it is, I might be able to learn from this person. So you
Yeah.
watch and see what they're doing, and see if you can take any of their style, and put it to your own style, and just kind of watch their movements, how they carry the momentum, and then you just kind of think maybe, hey, if I carry my momentum that way, I might get a little bit more, and you try to better yourself with it rather than
learn from them
Yeah.
instead of feeling like jealous. 'Cause
exactly.
I know for me, I can be a very jealous person, and I see someone doing some crazy stuff, and I'm just like, oh, why? And I've gotten better at that, but my main problem that I've had with that is like, I guess this one's kind of understandable. I've had someone before where I'm trying to work on a trick and I'm like kind of getting it, and then this person comes over and they're like, "Hold on, can I have a turn on this?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then they do it, and they do the exact same thing I did, but they're just like totally fluid with it,
Right.
just finish it off, and I'm just like, okay.
I mean, yeah, that reminds me, like, there's also the fact that there's always going to be someone better than you.
okay, yeah,
And you just, like,
you have to accept
someone showing off and everything, you know, a lot of the time they don't have the mindset that, like, there's always someone better. I mean, there's us, and then you look at someone like Jesse LaFleur or Damian Walters
Jake Smith.
or Jake
Yeah.
Smith, Ryan Doyle. I mean, those guys are like, phew.
Yeah,
And
professional.
I mean, as mind blowing as it is, there's probably people still. I can guarantee you, there's people better than them. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always David Bell. I mean, look at him. He like started like parkour. It's
know,
ridiculous.
right?
There's
he
always
commercialized it.
and
we could go
commercialized
into the
it. Just
history
like
of it,
he
but-
started it all. So like, I mean, there's always someone better. So I mean, look up to them instead of showing off. Like,
Yeah.
make them your goal to beat, but don't be like. Once you do that, don't be like, oh yeah, now I'm the boss. Now I got all the tricks. I got all the, you know.
What you're saying is like
Just-
look up to them
Yeah.
instead of trying to put them behind
Yeah.
you. You know, like trying to outshow them
Yeah.
and stuff. Because first of all, let's be honest, that's probably impossible with some
mean,
of these guys. You know, 'Cause
they're
they
on a whole
live
new
and
level.
breathe parkour. Like
Yeah.
if you can make a career out of it, that's awesome. You know? But not
Definitely.
everybody will or can. Maybe
Yeah.
they already have a career going and they just want to do parkour on the side. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, if you can't, it's
Yeah,
it's
it
for
is a
fun.
lifestyle. It's
It is
it's
certainly a
not an
lifestyle.
occupation.
Yeah.
It can be if your
can.
lifestyle becomes the occupation, and that is freaking awesome.
I know.
But
We all want that now. don't we?
Definitely. it's I'm pretty sure it's anyone who does parkour for any, it's on their mind. It's
Yeah. If they
But,
want to just
you
keep
know,
doing it.
it's
Yeah.
for fun.
And
enjoy
I've had times where I was on the other side. I guess I kind of explained this already, but like, especially to like, it's weird for me. Like if I want to show off, like I'm thinking, I do it still sometimes. and
Right.
It
We're all
sucks.
guilty of it.
Yeah, it's like I like showing off to kids because
Right.
they're always the ones that are like, whoa,
Right.
because they're always just
that are drunk people.
Yeah,
They
they
get
do
really
get amazed.
excited.
Yes.
They do get amazed.
They're like, whoa, guys. Yeah, and it's just you like to see their reaction to that
Right.
stuff, and then
it
and
makes
then-
you feel good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like it makes you feel like you've accomplished something.
Right.
Which is that's totally great, but
it is good.
and it's like I'm not also saying again, I'm not saying showing off is a bad thing. It's just your intention.
Right. It's the intention.
Yeah,
the
if you're
motive behind
trying if you're trying to put someone down by showing off, like that one person I said that came in front of me and did the exact same thing I was doing, but way better
it. Right.
and completed it the right way, then it's just like, oh, well, that was a straight up like slap in the face.
Right.
Versus
Yeah.
like if he came over and did that and then came up to me, he's like, all right, let me help you out. Then it's totally different.
Yeah.
It's like he's showing me that he can do it, and then he's like, let me help you, instead of just being like,
Yeah, it's
here, watch me
benefiting
do it.
you.
Yeah, it's like
It's
just like
benefit others.
watch me
Right.
do it, and then I'm just gonna walk off and be like, I feel good now.
And yeah, sometimes the case is they don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, that's just their personality and everything.
Yeah.
But when that's the case, I mean, confront them, you know? Let them know, like, hey, are you aware, like, that you have this kind of, like, showy off? And, I mean, sometimes they may know, sometimes they may not. But, like, if they don't, I mean, let them know. Don't just, like, leave them there because, like, that'll lead to, like, them getting in trouble later on. Be like, people...
Especially if they're trying to do something crazy and they haven't done it too many times. And then there's, like... And they just pass up the safety precautions, and then they hurt themselves.
Yep.
It's like, that's such a shame. I've seen that in videos before online where people do something crazy and they get hurt, and that's probably what it was. Is they're just trying to show off. Like, if someone doing parkour in a mall. Let's be honest, that's trying to show off.
Yeah.
There's nothing good to do parkour in a mall. That, and even if there was, you shouldn't.
Yeah, not the right
Probably not
place
the
for
best
it.
place.
No. Yeah, that's not good. Well, let's move on to the last subject. I believe it's video games, or
Video
parkour in
games.
video games.
Yes.
I know a couple. We were talking about this, and it seems like we all know a fair amount of different games that have parkour aspects in them, or just actually parkour, just named right there.
Right.
One that I've seen recently, played like maybe 10 minutes of, is Dying Light. I don't know if you guys heard that one.
Yes, that looks pretty good.
Really, you know, this could be a different subject for me. I'm very picky with games, but the parkour in that game just seemed, all right. It seemed okay.
I mean, well,
it wasn't totally like, whoa, this is like so real. But
the thing that amazed me about it was they actually used David Bell as like a model.
Okay, see, I
to
did
base
not
their
know that.
movements off
Okay.
of
They used him as a model.
the character.
Okay, see, like I said, I played it for like 20 minutes,
Right,
10 to 20
right,
minutes, so
right.
I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with it right away, but that can be just my own speculation. But there's other games that could be better examples, like Mirror's Edge was a very hyped up game about parkour, and I played it a little bit. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for video games with parkour in it all too much.
Yeah.
Maybe I just feel like they ruin it, or just they don't do it right. Because of course it'll never match up to just going outside and doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And you could absolutely just do that instead of playing a game that's parkour. But there's still some that are good, like Mirror's Edge is such a highly overwhelming, awesome game.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys have played it before, maybe.
I have not.
I played a little bit.
Okay. And what did you think of it?
It was alright. I just felt like I felt like it was repetitive.
Yeah.
Just because I felt like I was doing the same like stuff over and over.
Yeah, and it always just also depends on the programming and how they get their influences too.
Right.
Like that Dying Light thing with having David Bell in it. Yeah, that's actually sounds really. Maybe I'll give it another shot now that I know that. It just gives the developers more reason to get official people as a example in their games. And then you were talking about Assassin's Creed.
Yes,
Like,
Assassin's
what's your opinions
Creed.
on that?
I mean,
It's been one of those that people commonly look at for like, oh, hey, this is parkour. It's based basically all on parkour. The latest one that I played that seemed to be the best with parkour movements was Unity. And I don't know, everything just seemed a little more fluent than all the other Assassin's Creed games that I've played.
Despite the glitches.
Yeah, despite the glitches with the clothing and the
eyes
faces and
the
whatnot.
teeth and-
But for the most part, the movements were really great, and I saw some stuff like during gameplay that kind of inspired me to go try new stuff, kind of outside.
Right.
Which is really great. That's a good use of parkour in a game.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, you should see something and say, oh, I want to try that, rather than, oh, this is fun to sit on my butt and play inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, Unity, they had a lot of vault usage, kind of spin movements for efficiency. They used it really efficiently. That
Assassin's
you don't.
Creed is totally A to B.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of that in very many other games with the attention to detail on those spin vaults, those I don't know, usage of your surroundings.
Right.
They did it really well. A lot of the stuff obviously is not going to be very possible in real life.
Let's be honest.
Right.
But
like there being a ledge like completely over your head and then
yeah, you climb up a building.
I
10
hate
seconds.
I hate their what is it, leap of faith?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like that's totally
very
impossible.
impossible. Yeah,
It's like just stand on like a 100 story ladder, you're gonna fall into a little hay
Yeah.
Right.
pile, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, if you want to
That
get into
doesn't-
the
yeah.
physics of it,
Yeah,
you're
that does not
accelerating at
give-
9.8 meters per second squared. The impulse would be so intense you would die.
Probably.
And then the velocity and the square.
Yeah, squaring that
I
velocity.
mean, but whatever.
Parkour.
But, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it's becoming a lot more
Prevalent.
prevalent in video games now.
To add
Like
parkour.
it's becoming a lot. I mean, it's just
Even like first-person shooter games, some of them are adding
have- yeah.
parkour movements into it to get
Yeah.
point A to point B.
Which
It's
is
like, hey,
really
this is efficient.
interesting because it feels like I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like a third person game would be better with parkour in it than a first person.
Yeah.
Because you can see more. I don't know. I just feel
Right.
like that would be more fluid, even though I don't even like really that many third person
Right.
games.
Yeah.
But the first person one of it is just, I played Dying Light, it just felt weird. Maybe it's just because I don't.
it's just not you like
Yeah,
actually
doing it.
You can't see it actually happening.
Not saying they should go and make an Oculus Rift game where
right.
you do actual
right.
parkour.
Which
in it,
I'm
and
sure there's
maybe in 20 years.
um
What are some other games? Like
I played one that was for the mobile. It was on my iPhone. It was actually designed, I think, by David Bell.
Okay, see, that's why I should.
He helped. Yeah, he helped design it, and it was just kind of a platform game. You had some time trials.
I think
you
I
had
should know this one. It sounds familiar.
I can't remember what it's called, but it was pretty good for the most part. Of course, there were some things that were improbable in real life. You're not gonna
Right.
jump off a
Well,
20-story
there's
building
always-
and
Yeah.
or grab onto a guy that's riding a hang glider. That was a little weird. But,
Don't think that's really that parkoury.
yeah, sort of.
Yeah, that's what I just find is you gotta really watch out in video games. with
Right.
parkour, is you gotta
Well-
really. You don't want to give someone the bad a bad impression on parkour in a
Right.
video game because a lot of people play video games.
there's
in this
there's
day and age.
there's a lot of developers, and I've kind of noticed. Like, I watched a interview for Titanfall, and they were like saying like parkour. I'm like, I mean, the only thing that I've seen, I mean, don't quote me on it, but I haven't even really played the game, but I've seen like trailers, I've seen playthroughs and stuff. The only thing I've really seen parkour of it is just like them running on the walls.
Yeah, wall runs.
I mean,
tic-tac movements. I've seen
yeah.
that a little bit on
There's not
gameplay.
really.
Yeah.
They get a bad
They give it a bad
idea.
name. Yeah,
They don't really
and
look
then-
into it.
And then there's people who are like, maybe, like, say, there's just this person who's just sitting, and they're like, okay, I'll get this game, and then they get that game, and they kind of know what parkour is. Like, they know the name, and then,
Right.
like, they probably just know the name, and then they play this game, they're like, so this is what parkour is?
They
That's
get a-
stupid.
they get a bad
and then
rep, yeah.
and then there's just another person who thinks of parkour negatively, and we need less of that
Right.
now in this day and
Yes.
age to get parkour out there and even further in development, even
Right.
though it's pretty far as it is.
Yeah. It's come a long ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll do it for this podcast episode. We've definitely got a lot of time in this one, more than we ever thought.
We talked a lot about different things, and
And like I said in the first little introduction video, if you guys got any
topics or
topics, suggestions, comments, concerns, anything, you can just let us know in the comments probably. And yeah, we'll come back soon again and talk about some more awesome subjects. A couple I've already thought of in my head, so maybe like, I don't know what you guys think, like thought like, what was I gonna say? It was like misuse of parkour,
right,
like
Yeah.
running from the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is hopefully not being used in that way.
Unfortunately,
it
I mean,
is.
it is,
I
but,
know an
hopefully
officer.
You guys aren't doing that, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Don't
that
do
is
it.
It's
But that's
it's
a
a
topic for
decent
another day.
example. Is a very popular and decent example of it, but
Yeah, that's for another discussion.
that's another time.
Okay, well, this has been good. So
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Rassel.
I'm Kenneth, and we will see you in the future.